Hi friends, my name is Debbie and today we're going to be painting this beautiful fall landscape. I found this nice picture, so let's get started. Here is our paint for the day. Get your paint ready. You can use any paint that you have at home. So we're going to start off by putting our water on the background where the sky is. So we're going to put nice clean water and we're going to add a little bit of cobalt blue. You can use any blue that you have. We're gonna get some areas wet. We're gonna keep where this tree on the left hand side is, we're gonna keep it dry, and we're just gonna do the sky for now. So we're gonna start putting our light blue, lots of water, not too much color. Some areas on the right hand side I'm gonna add a little bit more to give a little bit of contrast, but pretty much it's gonna be light. And we're gonna go in between our tree. Some areas are showing between the leaves. It's gonna show a little bit of the sky, so we're gonna put that in between the trees. As you can see, I'm putting some water in some areas. We don't want to cover the whole tree, just some areas to give a little bit of a illusion that the sky is showing through it. And just put in some color in there. I'm feeling like I need to add a little bit more color on this part of the sky. And you can put as much as you want or as little as you want. This is your painting, so you control it. And you can make it your own. You don't have to do the exact same thing. You can always, change a little bit here and there and make it your own. And if you put too much paint, you can always get a piece of tissue or a paper napkin and you can do some lifting. Just wipe off some of the extra paint. So right now I'm putting some water, some clean water, where my trees, my background trees are gonna be. So we're just adding this water, and what this is gonna do is when I put my paint, the paint is gonna move. It's gonna start bleeding because our paper is nice and wet, and that's the effect that we want. We want to make sure it's kind of blurred and not, it's in the background, so we don't want too much attention to our background trees. So that's why we're using the wet on wet technique. So we're just putting some sap green in this case, and we're just adding in some areas, and then we're gonna put our yellows and our oranges and our red, and it's gonna give us this nice beautiful area of fall, and it's gonna feel just like fall. So we're adding these nice colors for the season. I'm here in Florida, so we don't get too much changing of our leaves, but I got this nice picture from a website, so I'm just inspired by this picture. So that's what I'm trying to bring to you. We're adding some of our darker colors now, and they're gonna bleed through the other ones, and that's what we want. We don't want hard edges. Just keep adding these colors, and I can add a little bit of my sap green also. There's some areas that are still not changing the color, so we're gonna keep it nice and green, and some areas already change completely, so that's where you see the lighter colors and the darker colors. So we're still dropping some more paint. This is where all of my bushes are gonna be in the background. And this is a very simple step, nothing crazy. I'm adding some more water because my light is making my paper dry faster than usual. So you can always add water if your paper dries too much, because you want a blending colors. You don't want hard lines, so for the blending, you make sure your paper is always wet, and it would spread through the whole water, and it's gonna give this beautiful blurry effect. So we're gonna add some more yellow on this part. This is my cadmium yellow and gambush, 50% gambush, and then a little bit of the cadmium yellow. And I'm adding the darker one side on this side, and it's blending beautiful. As you can see, there's no hard lines here. Everything is blending pretty much the way we want it. Then I'm adding some sap green. This is gonna be for the grass. And I decided to add the sienna color first for this part of the front grass. That area is a little bit dry, so it's looking like fall grass. And then I'm adding my green to the front, and just wet on dry. We're not gonna get this area wet. We're just gonna keep the paper nice and dry, and then you blend it with your brush. We put in some more color. And if you add too much color, you can always clean your brush and go back to it and just remove any extra paint that you have in there. Now I'm adding some of this darker green. This is the sap green with a little bit of ultramarine blue. And this is where my shadow is gonna be, on this part of the bushes. We're gonna place the road, so I'm using my light color, the gambosh and the cadmium yellow, and also this is gonna be on a dry paper, not wet paper. We want to keep this color in the area where where the road is. And then we're gonna go to our green, and we're gonna move towards where the fence is. We're adding this color. If the other one is moving too much, remember, just wipe off the extra with a clean brush. You can always go back and wipe off or clean up your mess. I'm just adding a little bit more color to my road, and then I'm just blending it. And remember, this is our first layers. You can always go back and add more details to it, but the first layer is supposed to be nice and light, and then you can add more layers to it and more details. So my water at this point is a little bit yellow, but it doesn't matter because it's gonna work perfect for what I need. So right now I'm getting my paper wet, just the front where all the falling leaves are gonna be. So we're getting this area nice and wet, also here in the back. And we're gonna start putting our colors. We're gonna put our yellows, our medium yellows, our darker yellows, and then we're gonna go to the darkest colors that we have. And they're gonna blend because our paper is wet, so there's gonna be no marks, no lines. Everything is gonna blend nice and beautiful. And by putting just dots, it's gonna give the kind of like the movement of the leaves. So just with the tip of your brush, you put in some areas, darker areas, some lighter areas. Make sure you keep lighter areas for the highlights, and then we're gonna be adding the darker ones for contrast. We want highlights and we want lowlights. So this is gonna look like there are leaves in on the ground. I'm gonna add a little bit of my darker color, which is my burnt brown. And this is very light color, a lot of water, not too much paint. And I'm just putting some dots here and there. And it's gonna blend. As you can see, the paint's still moving because my paper is nice and wet. By the way, this is my 100% cotton paper, so it's gonna be very nice for what we are trying to achieve. And now we're gonna put our sap green on this part of the fence. You can go on top of the fence, it doesn't matter. We're gonna go back to the fence later on when everything is nice and dry, and we're gonna paint on top. So we start with the light sap green, and then we go back and add the sap green with the ultramarine blue to give a little bit of contrast. I'm adding a little bit here on this area where the leaves are gonna be. Then we take some salt and we're gonna drop it just in the front area. And what this is gonna do is gonna give us a nice effect. When it dries completely, we're gonna remove it with a credit card or something that you can scratch off the salt. We're gonna take it off, and you're gonna see this beautiful nice effects that the salt is gonna give you. Let's just take it to another level. And now I'm making my road a little bit darker by using the same color, the sap green with the ultramarine blue. You can use Payne's gray if you want. I'm adding a little bit more here for more dimension and to make it a little bit like there's like a hole in there, like a ditch. And then I'm going to my center line for my road. Now we're gonna paint the house. So for this one, I'm just using my red, and I added a little bit of sienna, just a little bit to get rid of that so bright color. So I added a little bit of the sienna, and we're just painting the house. Very simple. I put the picture up here on the right so you can see how the house look like. And you can use any color that you have. You don't have to use the exact same colors. This is your painting and you make it your own. So we're just gonna paint the front, and then for the left hand side we're gonna use the same color, and then we're gonna be adding a little bit of our shadow color, which is the ultramarine blue and the burnt sienna. In this case, I decided to add my brown color because the paint was still wet. So it's gonna do the job. It's gonna blend nice, and it's gonna give us a little bit of a shadow to this side. And this is the first layer for the house, and we will go back to the side. For now, we're gonna be painting the windows, and they were black. And we're gonna go with we're gonna be using a wash, or if you have any white color, like a marker or anything, like acrylic marker, that you can do your highlights and your windows, that will work too. So now I'm putting the door, and this is my Payne's gray, and I'm just doing the gradient. Started with the dark gray, and then I'm cleaning my brush as I go, and I'm wiping off the extra paint just to give a little bit of highlight inside the door. Now I'm doing the top window, and it's the same as just some Payne's gray. For the roof, I'm using my burnt brown, a little bit of paint, lots of water. This is gonna be very light, and then we can give some other details for our roof. We're gonna let it dry, and then we're gonna add some details here. We're gonna wait on the roof, so I decided to add a little bit of grass. This grass is already dried, and that's why I'm using my burnt brown color. And just here by the front of the barn, and we're just making the grass strokes. Very simple. Just go up with your brush. Now I'm doing the shadow for this side of the house, and that was with the Payne's Gray. And the house has some kind of line in the front, and that's what I'm adding right now. And this is with the Payne's Gray. Now I'm doing the dry brush technique. This is not water, it's just paint. You pick it up with your brush and just go on top of the roof, and you're gonna make this brush strokes. It's gonna give you nice texture to your roof. And I'm just adding a little bit more shadow. Now with my white, I'm gonna be putting the small details on my barn and some of the windows. We're gonna make the frames. This one has a little bit of highlight on the roof, and now I'm putting my frames inside the windows. Like I said, if you don't have a wash, you can use a marker or maybe a watercolor pencil, something that you can do your highlights. And you can add as much detail as you want or as little as you want. Now I'm just going back to my road, adding a little bit more dry brush technique to give a little bit more definition to this part. We're gonna darken all the way to the back, because the road is coming from the back, so it gets narrow from deep inside and it gets wider when it comes to us, to the front. I'm adding some grass, very simple strokes, just with the tip of your brush. Just pull up, and there you go, you got your grass. Now we're gonna put our fence. In this case, I'm using my burnt brown. After I put it on, I realized that it was a lot of paint, so it got really dark. But you can always fix it. I decided after I painted it that it was too dark for my taste, so I mixed a little bit of my wash with my burnt brown, and I made a lighter color. So I will be applying that to not to my shadow side, to my highlights side. So the shadow in this case is going to be on your left, and your highlights are going to be on your right. So we're just going to finish it off, and we will let it dry before you apply any more color to it. And this is very simple, just make some lines. For the fence, the way it works is that the closer to us, the bigger poles, and the further they are from us, those are the smaller poles. So the closer to ours, the bigger, the further, the smallest. And that's how you give the illusion that the fence is going away and it's far from us. And the fence is just adding some detail to the whole landscape painting. It's just adding some extra touch to this painting. And the lines, they don't have to be perfect. Any fence, when they're old, they start to get crooked and they're not straight. So it doesn't matter if your lines are not straight. If they have a little bit of movement, it's even better. It looks more natural, more organic. So we're gonna do this side of the fence, and for this case I went a little bit lighter, as you can see. So we're just putting some poles for this side. And this part was like a broken gate. It didn't have a gate. I don't know why, but that's how the picture was. So I'm just doing the same thing that was in the picture. If you want to add a gate, this will be the time to add it. If not, you can leave it just like this. So now I'm doing the back of my bushes. This is just to give a little bit of definition in the back. So I'm adding my darker sap green with the ultramarine blue. Make sure you blend that line so it's not too harsh. We don't want like a line cutting the bushes. We want pretend that there's some higher ground or something like that. And just blending. I added some kind of like grass, but it's for my bushes. I'm putting some lines, so it's like the bushes, they have this like trunks kind of, and I'm adding a little bit grass here to the front. This grass is already dried, so that's why I'm putting the brown. And I'm adding some on the other side of my fence. You don't have to do this step if you don't want. You can skip it, but to me, any more details I can add to my painting, that's even better. So please don't forget to subscribe to the channel. I will really appreciate it. Make sure you hit the notifications, they're on, so you will be notified every time I post a video. So right now I'm going back to my fence with the wash and the burnt brown and just doing my highlights on my poles. Like I said, I went too dark on my poles. So the way to fix it in watercolor is to add wash to your paint, and this is gonna make your paint lighter so it will show up in your painting. And just doing some highlights on some poles. And then I decided to add a little bit more darker color to my right side, because in this case, in this fence, the highlight or the sunlight is coming from my left, so the shadow will be on my right. So a little bit more shadow to the other fence. This one is gonna have it on the left. And then we're gonna move to our tree. So finally we're getting to the tree. We're gonna add some water. My water is already with a lot of colors, but it doesn't matter. It's just gonna give a little bit extra touch to my painting. So I'm adding some cadmium yellow with my gumbosh, and some areas. We're gonna keep some areas with sky is. So do not touch some of the areas. We want to make sure there is some light blue in between our leaves. This is gonna make our tree look more realistic. I'm just doing some dots. Make sure you get outside and do some little dots on the outside, and that's gonna look like the leaves are peeking through, through the tree. And I'm just using the tip of my brush, tapping, adding the color. And remember to keep your see-through leaves for the sky. And just using the tip of the brush, adding the extra color and the darker color. And as you can see, when we use the wet on wet, the colors, they blend nice and they move to different places and they just look so pretty. That's the best technique, in my opinion, the wet on wet, because everything blends so beautiful. And you can see the tree is looking really nice and gorgeous. Now I'm adding my darker color, which is the red, a little bit of sienna, and gamboge. And again, just with the tip of the brush, pretending that these are leaves. Very simple step. This is so relaxing. I think this is the best part of the whole painting, making the leaves. Just tapping, adding your colors. And remember, do some extra on the outside, because that's gonna look like the leaves are sticking out. Sorry about the camera. I don't know what's going on with this camera. It's going crazy and it's getting out of focus. But I guess when I put my hand in front, the camera reads my hand. But hopefully you can see what I'm doing. I apologize for that. So now I'm putting a little bit of my sap green in some areas. Just a peekaboo of the greenery, that the tree is changing the colors and still has a little bit of the green from the summer. But pretty much we're keeping the green very little, because this is a fall tree. So it's supposed to have your oranges, your yellows, your reds. Now we're moving to the back of our trees and we're just adding burnt brown. And we're just gonna make our trunks and we're gonna go and put our branches. So I'm using a liner brush. To me, this is the easiest way to make the trees, the trunks. So you just hold it from far and just move your hand. The more wiggle, the better it is. Remember, trees are not perfect, so we're just wiggling our brush and we're gonna put some V's, and that's gonna make you believe that this is where the branches are peeking through the leaves. And we're just putting in some areas. We don't want to overwhelm this tree with too many branches, so we're just picking a few areas here and there, and we're gonna put these V's in between. Remember, the trunks, they start thick on the bottom and then they get skinny towards the top. Then after that, I decided to add some texture to my grass. So I'm just using dry brush technique. So whatever is left on my palette, that's what I'm using. I'm not adding no water to my brush. I'm just adding paint to my brush. And this is gonna give us this nice texture that there is grass in the on the on the field. And I'm adding some here to the front, not too much, because this part is supposed to be dried and where the fallen leaves were. And if you want, you can use watercolor pencils and you can add some leaves here on the front. That's up to you. If you want to add some more details to this painting, you can use your oranges, you can use your red ones, and if not, you can leave it just the way it is. And also you can use watercolor pencils to add some more grass to your fields. So now I'm adding my shadow for the final details. So this is burnt sienna and ultramarine blue, or you can use Payne's gray. Lots of water, not too much paint. Remember, this is just the shadow, and we're just going diagonal because this is the shadow from the poles, from the fence. So pretty much we're done. So thank you so much for watching. I hope you liked this video. I hope you learned something from it. Don't forget to give it a like so other people can watch it. And I will see you on my next video. Thank you. Bye-bye.